Greetings, LoreSeekers, and welcome to another episode of the Lost Archives, a Star Wars Legends lore series. So, following on from the Prophets of the Darkside, we're going to talk about the Church of the Darkside. Not a true Force organisation, except in name. Now, there's a distinct reason why I include it in the other Force groups list, and that is because there were Force-sensitive members. But how did the Church get started, you wonder? Well, if we go back to the event that caused the schism with the Prophets of the Darkside, the one that Palpatine is probably still laughing to this day about the catastrophe that was to befall at Endor. Kadan and his various compatriots in the Prophets of the Darkside fled. Those that didn't and stayed on with the Empire when they sided with Palpatine were a bit bitter about, the whole Endor affair. And Imperial intelligence, being a bit sore about the situation, together with these loyal prophets, decided, screw that then, we're going to make our own religion, and the Church of the Darkside was born. But what true religion would be complete without a prophet to prop up the religion and layer an age of legitimacy to it? And so, various impostors of Kadan and the various other true prophets of the Darkside started appearing around the galaxy and preaching about this religion. All the while, the real Kadan and his compatriots were hidden away from the Empire, fearing repercussions, despite the fact that they were completely right in what would happen at Endor, and Palpatine didn't listen, and his arrogance blinded him. One of the varying goals of the Church of the Darkside was to attract members of the Imperial citizenry, as well as admirals and various trade barons to their cause. This was to provide them with credits and various things. All basically to keep anyone from gaining any real power in the Empire. This was due to a shadowy backer that operated through Imperial Grand Vizier / Empire Interim Emperor State Prestige. Though to be fair, he was eventually murdered by the machinations of Imperial Director Yuzan Izard. Though the the Church of the Darkside themselves would not side with her when she tried to make a move for Empress. I do believe this is actually due to their shadowy backer pulling the strings. Two things of interest is that Ceres, the daughter of Chronal, one of the former Imperial Empress Hands and former Prophet of the Darkside, was a prophetess of the Church of the Darkside. And if you've played the Dark Forces 2 game, you'll know that she is one of the all boss fights. Well, she was using the religion to spread the teachings and gain favour. Firstly, to corrupt the Baron Lord she was meant to be marrying, and then his son, Yun, the Dark Youth. He'll be getting his own lore video at some point, but then to be fair, I'm planning to do that with all of the boss fights in the Let's Plays I've done previously. So, those of you who enjoyed my Dark Forces 1 Let's Play, eventually we'll be getting one for General Mock. And I'll be mocking the hell out of him. That joke was bad. The second thing to note is they did actually have a holy site. This was known as Scardia Station, although to be fair, it was really just a hiding place and headquarters for both the Church and a massive amount of Imperial intelligence officers. Though there was one church built on Coruscant known as the First Church of the Darkside. Yeah, these good years were not that great at naming, were they? Eventually, there was a bid by the First Church of the Darkside to install a Emperor of the Throne, a mutant, supposed son of the Emperor, who was supposed to have the powers of the Emperor and also bear the seal of Darth Vader's glove. Unfortunately, he was not actually Force sensitive, and thus many more prophecies that this pseudo-religious order created started to be turned out to be false one after the other. Yes, that's probably something I forgot to mention, is they tried to continue the prophecy-laden tradition that the Prophets of the Darkside would do, recording them in a holy book known as the Secrets of the Darkside, though one after another these prophecies ended up being false. This did put them at odds with the Grand Moffs and many of the Imperial warlords. And then eventually their supposed son of the Emperor was then proved to actually not be the son of the Emperor at all and be an imposter. This all started the downfall of the church. In fact, the imitator of Kadan was so good at imitating Kadan, many of the people who wanted revenge on Kadan came after him. This actually ultimately ended with an Imperial warlord getting every ship he could, surrounding Scardia Station and blasting it into oblivion. And Kadan happened to be, well, false Kadan happened to be on that station at the time, and well, what's left of him can barely fit in a tin can at this point. Ceres, as you have known if you've played Dark Forces 2, I keep referencing that, met a violent end in her duel with Kyle Katarn, though there is an alternative version to that if you do side with the Darkside ending. Might do my own little Let's Play on the Darkside ending at some point. And Connell, one of the basically founders of the church, met a sticky end. That's going to get its own separate video, as that does pertain to a creature that was created and destroyed during the time of the Uzanba War. With swimmingly back from the dead, State Prestige took over Connell's role of Imperial Agent Blackhole. You may be wondering how that's possible, seeing as he was assassinated. Well, he was Palpatine's best mate, and possibly one of the few beings in the entire galaxy that Palpatine actually trusted. Not to mention he had a fair understanding of Palpatine's true self, not the self he presented to everybody else, but his true personality. Those of you sitting here are probably going, okay, yeah, so what's the point? Well, the point is, all of this was planned by that shadowy backer. The stuff with the glove, keeping the Imperial throne empty, and slowly but surely weakening the entire galaxy. And that person was Palpatine. What with the rise of Skywalker, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are now diving into the Legends material, figuring how has he survived. And it's an interesting story. While the Force was brought back into balance at Endor, Palpatine, being the sneaky boy that he is, had a backup plan in place. Now, just to summarise the video before I bring it to a close, this has been a bit of a summarisation of what the Church of the Darkside was, how they would operate, and the various shenanigans they got up to with their various benefactors. And unfortunately, how it eventually all blew up in their faces. If you want to check out more of them and how they affected the story of the main heroes from the Star Wars galaxy, check out the Jedi Prince series. There'll be a list of the books it's in the description below, and I will catch you on the next episode of the Lost Archives. Take care, LoreSeekers, and have a good day.